What's up guys, Bandicoot Lover here, and I'm here with my very first game episode. And it's gonna be Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy. On the system, I have it for the Nintendo Switch. Now the first Crash games were never seen outside of the first PlayStation, which were released in 1996, 1997, and 1998. So there. As you can see, there are a bunch of Crash games that were released on Nintendo GameCube, the Nintendo Wii, and of course the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS. So there. And also, don't worry, I'm here with a fellow YouTuber.
Hi everybody! Angelina was in the house?
Yup. That's my girlfriend, Angelina. Save Tawna and...
Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.
I'm getting to that. Save Tawna and rescue... Save Tawna and defeat the evil Dr. Cortex and the... Cortex in Crash Bandicoot. Crash 2 focuses on villain Cortex, who tricks Crash into help him gathering crystals into world destruction. And Crash 3 follows Time Twister, in which Crash and Coco put a stop to Cortex and the evil mask Uka Uka. As you can see, there are a bunch of differences from each console. You see, the system I have it for, the Nintendo Switch, has basically a lot of differences. Like the fur texture, for instance. Take a look at this water. It has no reflection. Or how about this sand? Pretty cool, huh? If I do say so myself. Indeed. The bonus rounds that are twice are cool as they before in full HD. And of course there are hidden puzzles to do, such as secret exits and secret levels. And take a look at this comparison between the PS4 and Switch versions. Very different, huh? 4K and texture. Pretty cool, huh?
I think they're really cool on the Nintendo Switch, Anthony.
Indeed. You see,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't worth be double dipping. You see, the cutscenes that are obviously lovely at the first releases of the original trilogy are even more perfect than the PS4 version and the Xbox One version. Don't get me wrong though, still good. And the same goes for the Dingle Dial boss fight. His post-loss line, which was cut from the original PS4 version, has returned in the Switch version, including the rest of the releases, including the second release of the PS4 version, and the Xbox One version, and of course the PC version. You see, some levels are long, some levels are short, some are really hard. The next one may be real easy. You know what I mean. So, don't get me wrong though, it's still hard. Like the same goes for the game over screen. Something's visible throughout Crash 2 and 1. It's still there. Of course, there's an extra level called Stormy Ascent, and of course there's another one called, well, you know, Future Tense, which is in Crash 3. And too bad, and it's a shame there's no extra level in Crash 2. favorite in this collection, still, like the same goes for the polar bear levels, and the swamp levels, of course. And don't get me wrong though, the motorboard is still there, and you can still ride as Coco on the motorboard. Yeah, you know what I mean. You gotta watch out for those whirlpools as much as in the original. Yeah, you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong though. In this level, the plant food, you can still get the yellow gem, right? Even if you die, and if the timer runs out. And you gotta be fast too, as usual. And as I was saying with the polar levels, polar does feel kinda off comparing to the original, but I wouldn't say worse, just slightly off. Kinda, yeah. And it's still good, I promise you. Still good, yeah. Like this, and of course, the levels are still the same, as usual. Some levels are hard, like, you know, Road to Nowhere and High Road, you know, the bridge levels. But I don't mind those levels a bit, because they're not hard to me, but Stormy Ascent is the hardest in my opinion, which I got the gem, and I promise I will never do the relic because it's way too hard for me. Don't get me wrong though, still hard. Yeah, okay, I might sound like a broken record, you know what I mean. Even my girlfriend agrees with me, though. Of course, Angelina. She's coming back in a minute, don't worry. Or about 2 minutes. And check out the sewer levels, pretty cool as might I say. The sewer levels are more awesome than they were in the original version. Even you can, and the water you can still watch out for. Oh, and the bonus levels, they're still good. No, I wouldn't say worse, just perfect. And you better be quick in the mud in the time trial, cause I already got everything in Turtle Woods, like the blue gem, which I got without breaking all the crates, of course, and of course, I already got the crystal and the blue gem first, then I got the clear gem by breaking all the boxes by losing a life and getting me back to where I started, and the same does feel the same for the China stages. It's the Pura level with Coco. Don't get me wrong though, still good. And they even fixed the story mode as well. Like when you actually get 28 relics, you actually get the 100%. You actually get 100%, including the second Cortex boss fight stage. And it's really cool fit. And I like the idea. And I really like the way they did the Arabian stage. You know, the Persian Palace stages. You know what I mean. Now, I know this is my gameplay, of course. You know what I mean. You know, I wouldn't say they're hard, just slightly good. You know, very good. Like the same goes for the hog stages. Between looser controls and the way the hog moves is slightly good. You know, perfect. I mean, you know. Now, as for the fire, still good. Like, what? And the glitches are still there. You know, the loading times, which are long on the PS4 version, might I say, are even more shorter on the Switch version, as well as the Xbox One version, and the PC versions, which I don't have. That's a shame. Neither the PS4 version. That's a darn shame. You know what I mean. Like I said, still good. And as for the native levels, they're still pretty good as usual. I wouldn't say hard, just slightly perfect. And you know what I mean. They kinda stink, but they're still pretty perfect in my opinion. Now, I wouldn't say they've gotten worse, just they're still pretty great. Just pretty awesome. And as you can see, don't get me wrong though, and it's pretty still hard. Like the same goes for the piranha plants. Like I said with plant food, you gotta be quick. As long as you get if you want to get the yellow gem, you gotta be quick, even with your motorboard. Okay, I might sound like a broken record, but you know what I mean. So, there are some things I forgot to say in Crash 2, like the in-between levels between the cutscenes between the levels are instantly gorgeous. And Coco shows up every now and then, and she is just really cute and precious and adorable. Oh my goodness, I love you. And like I said before, you can even play as Coco throughout most of the 3 games too. So you can't play Coco in boss levels except for the engine level, of course, in Crash 3 as usual. And you also can't play Coco in Unbearable and Polar levels in Crash 2, as well as the Hog levels in Crash 1, you know what I mean. And also the underwater levels, of course, you know. And check out the snow area. Pretty intense, as I might say myself. Well, of course, Crash has previously made an appearance in Skylanders, but hey, that's already in the past, and he at least got some pretty cool figures out of it. Hey, it's better than nothing. What do you say? Well, yeah, my girlfriend will get back to us as soon as she can, okay? Okay, so, yeah. Anyway, it's Crash 1, of course, starts with Cortex and Rio working on their latest creation, which is Crash, of course, to make it. He will lead his Cortex commandos to world domination, of course, which backfires on him, of course, as usual. And the story is basically simple in all 3 games, so no worries, you can still go back to this game even when you beat all 3 games 100%. Even in Crash 2, when you complete the game 100% without getting all the relics, that is. And after the ending cutscene with Rio destroying the Cortex Vortex with Crash and Coco, along with Rio, yeah, who help him, yeah, you get to do relics. even when you have the speed shoes from Crash 3 into 2, and it totally makes sense, especially for invincibility mask power-ups, even without the time trials in Crash 2 and 3, which totally makes sense. As you can see, there's sadly no appearance for classic death animation, so I'm sure that's gonna make a few people happy in their opinion. Yeah, of course. Sadly, no power-ups in Crash 1, just in 2 and 3. Of course. I felt like they should have included the speed shoes in Crash 1, but I guess better late than never, of course. Yeah. So, as I was saying, time trials are really cool. In Crash 3 they were already there and actually required to get past the last few levels, and while they still are, the ones in the first two are totally optional. Might I do say so myself? Oh, yeah. The Piranha Plants were totally upset at Crash for this. Yeah. Luckily, you can now die in Crash 1 as many times as you please. Oh yes. Although you do need to do some levels without dying to get those special colored gems, which is a nice compromise. And of course, you get to play as Coco, like I said a few times, in all 3 Crash games, even in time trials. Might I say so myself, which is what I forgot to say, of course. And there's also voice actors too. In this game, Crash, Ripperoo, and Pinstripe are voiced by Jess Harnell, who is better known as voicing Wacko Warner in Animaniacs, and even Spyro, Hunter, Red, Moneybags, and all the Dragon Elders in A Hero's Tale. Yeah. So, and there's also Anna Sophia Robb, who voices Coco, and of course, she is better known as a live-action actress herself in many movies, like in Bridge to Terabithia as Leslie Burke, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as Violet Beauregard, and even Bethany Hamilton, among others, in Soul Surfer. Among others, yeah. So, and there's also Lex Lang, who, since Crash Twinsanity, voices Cortex, and there's also Corey Burton, who's made his debut in Wrath of Cortex, who actually Lex Lang voiced Cortex since Twinsanity, my bad. And actually, Corey Burton, who made his debut in Wrath of Cortex, oh, and you even get to take captures. Pretty cool, as I might say so myself. Oh, I did that, and I deleted the picture. That's a shame. At least I get to show you guys, yeah. Now where was I? Oh yeah, the voice acting. And of course, there's also Corey Burton, who voices Dr. Troopy, and of course Nolan North, who made his debut in Crash Tag Team Racing along with Jess Harnell, voices Dr. Engine, Dingle-Dial, and even the Portaroo henchmen and gunners. As you can see, the fur texture is very different from other console versions. And one thing I forgot to mention is that every single characters are perfect, including Crash, Coco, Aku Aku, and the villains. I absolutely love this version of the N-Sane Trilogy because I can take it anywhere, at the beach, in the car, or anywhere you go. I loved the Crash N-Sane Trilogy on the Nintendo Switch, at home and on the go, so it wouldn't worth be double dipping.
Me too.
I agree. And also, I recommend you pick this up at a local GameStop or other store, cause this is Bandicoot Lover saying, play it.